Hello and welcome to Talkin Jake. We are back. It is July 21st as we sprint towards the trade deadline of the baseball season. Fully operational after the All-Star break. We got a weekend of baseball games in and teams trying to change the course. It was fun to see. The All-Star break matters, and baseball, just energy matters. Like the Red Sox went into the All-Star break on a 10-game win streak. They came out the first two games, and they scored one run in those two games. Matt Vierling got what turned out to be the game-winning hit in the Detroit-Texas game last night. That he was hurt the first half. He was injured, and when he played bad. But does Matt Vierling getting that hit, does that change his whole second half? Is he going to be one of the Tigers' contributors? We will see. That's I did tweet out last night that I placed a bet on a team to win the World Series. It was the Detroit Tigers. The way they play baseball is just tough. There's a lot of days at the office where baseball happens and you're going to lose games, and they're in a little bit of a funk right now, but they are just absolute dogs, and they trust the next man up. And Skubal to Holton to Will Vest, like, they have the bad man in Skubal, which I think there's just a chance that this is peak of his powers and we're going to see something special in October. It's also just fading the American League because the Yankees are struggling right now. Toronto looks good. Let's see how that holds up. But, you know, Toronto wasn't like a power heading into the season. Like you would have made money if you bet on Toronto making the postseason this year. And Houston... we'll see. Houston's just an interesting case because they have the reputation. There's a lot of new bodies there. They've been good. They're missing Yordan. Like, Houston's going to be there, but the way the Tigers just play baseball, it's ferocious. And I think Hinch is a good manager. I don't know how to quantify it yet, but those guys feel like they play for each other. They're going to take the extra base. They're going to make the right play. Anyways, how do you like that? As we sneak towards the trade deadline, we are going to go through. The Athletic did an article. One bold prediction. Buzzwords. One bold prediction for each team ahead of the MLB trade deadline. And part of the reason I like this one so much is because the writers of the Athletic are people that pride themselves as men of faith. No. That pride themselves on, like, being a true writer, and being a true writer isn't putting down your bold predictions. That they even neutralized it on the entrance. They're like, these aren't that bold, but that's how you get the click, people. And thank you for watching. Get ready. Second half Talkin Jake as we sprint. Deadline's going to be fun. I'm going to talk myself in and out of that, especially as we get to the Arizona Diamondbacks. But every now and then, I keep flip-flopping between the trade deadline is going to be fantastic because there's so many teams in it. Everyone needs pitching. There's a lot of needs out there. It's just the giving. Although, like, check out your White Sox. They might have a couple starting pitchers that now look appealing. Adrian Hauser throwing some good innings for them. Did you know? Senor Puke, an OG breakdown specialist. Aaron Savali still twirling it for them over there. A lot of teams have needs. A lot of teams have stuff to trade. Like we're obviously deep in Yankees world. Their farm system actually has assets to trade this year, which aren't just Yankees hype machine. Meanwhile, the Boston Red Sox, like, for the right deal, I think Jarren Duran is on the table. So are we going to see, Jarren Duran traded for a pitcher? The Boston Seattle trade that everyone's tried to dream up for over a year now. I got tripped up today by San Diego. Like, San Diego is really good. They're paying guys a lot of money. They're in a window, per se. I know we've kind of, after blowing last year to the Dodgers, they've kind of been out of the picture. San Diego fans, you could clap back on that. You haven't been out of the picture. The Giants were sexy. The Padres are now 2.5 games ahead of them to be second. in the NL West. But, know who's listed as the DH for your San Diego Padres on Fangraphs?
Is it still Sheets?
They're listing Sheets as the left fielder hitting cleanup, which, again, we're happy for the Gavin Sheets revitalization, but...
I saw someone with the last name Johnson in their game yesterday.
That was Bryce Johnson. Trenton Brooks,
of course,
is currently listed as the Padres DH. And, I don't know, what have you seen from their front office? Do you not think they're getting involved? They're getting involved. So it's just to what magnitude will they be in? Every contender obviously has needs, and you're trying to bulk up for the postseason, that it just gets very interesting with the sellers and the Arizona Diamondbacks sweeping. What if they reel off 9 in a row? They still think they're really good, because they kind of are. That if the DBacks are off the table, there's not enough to go around at all. At all. I guess, okay, before we get into the article, let's do our bad team jamboree for a second. Athletics are going to be interesting. I mean, they're interesting as a franchise already. They paid Sevy, and Sevy already wants out. Jeffrey Springs, JP Sears. I mean, why not?
And there
were Mason Miller.
Not to leak one of the bold predictions of the deadline, but Athletics is they will be super sellers.
And they should be. I guess there's not a ton offensively. Roll those R's for Andujar.
The numbers are in an interesting place. I don't know how it's valued.
Luis Urias and Gio Urshela get the pinstripes. So, okay, Athletics can do some trades. We like that. Baltimore, yeah, okay. Maybe we don't need you, Arizona. Baltimore's going to be interesting to track. The White Sox, not a ton of goodies, but they've got some stuff. Cleveland has some pitching. How are they going to handle it? That's in the article. Detroit, Houston, buy. Kansas City is a coin flip. Very interested to see which way that they should sell, but they kind of like their team, so that they're a very interesting one to watch. Halos have some good energy that people are wondering if they just want to feel that for a whole season with Ron Washington. They should be selling. We'll see. Minnesota's in between. They have a ton of pitching to sell. Would like to see that get in them. Okay. As I go through these teams, there's going to be a trade deadline. I guess
There's enough obvious rentals on some teams that have no need to keep them out there. There's enough.
The Arizonas, the Cincinnati, he said. Who else is a question mark? St. Louis was. I don't think they are. I think they really want to sell. And the two teams in their division have run away. The two best records in the NL Central are Milwaukee and the Cubs. And the National League, excuse me. So, that's where the NL this year, man. Before the season, we had talks about how good the National League is and how deep the National League is. Put that with a now multiplier of the NL Central has the two best teams right now. And the difference from previous years, they feel good. Milwaukee has pitching, and they have a bunch of dogs. The Cubs lineup is stacked, and they throw the ball pretty damn well. That the two best teams in the National League being in the Central was on no one's bingo card this year. And then once you get out to the coast, there's a lot of good baseball teams there, that the NL is out of control. That I'm expecting American League teams to be more aggressive because it feels wide open. But I think that's also counterintuitive to how front offices view things. It's almost like they don't have to keep up with the Joneses. I don't know. I guess, okay, that little pep talk was me getting myself hyped for the deadline. I was getting nervous that there wasn't enough teams selling. There's enough, and a couple of those borderline teams are going to get in the mix. All right. Athletic bold predictions. And as I told you, and I smirk when I say it, that these are people that don't want to put bold, lame predictions on paper because they like being reliable.
They want to say something that has a good chance to be right.
Yes, they're not America's GM. Like the Phillies, and I love this because sometimes I question our organization and how I come to Wake and Jake, and thank you guys. Appreciate you the most. How about that? This article, it's in no particular order. Not alphabetical, not by hot take meter. It's in no order.
I was looking through trying to figure out what the order possibly could have been. It's like almost definitely just when the writer sent it in.
I think it's literally who sent it first.
Complimentary. I think it's just who sent it in first.
And yeah, there's some of these that have overlap that's interesting. Let's start chewing through it. In the first hot take, Matt Gelb, shout out, related to Steve? I Googled it, couldn't find out.
I think this is Gelb and Steve is Gelbs. I think. But I can get R&D on that.
Their bold prediction, the Phillies do not acquire a hitter in a July trade. Says they're looking for pitching. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that Philadelphia-Baltimore pipeline opens back up. Baltimore's got bullpen. Philly needs bullpen. Well, some of the guys even pitched for Philly in a previous life. Why not spin it back? Yeah, I don't know. I saw Yankee fans were freaking out a little bit because Alec Boehm got hurt, which they were like, oh, does that mean the Phillies are in town for a third baseman? I think there's so many teams in need of a third baseman that the Phillies, that doesn't even like register on their map.
There are a number of third basemen just out there that, even if they were to get in the mix, like I don't think it means it's not like there's two guys and now it's like, oh, Phillies might be another team and now.
Yeah,
obviously there's levels to everything.
There's levels to this BBD. Are there third basemen? It's Suarez. It's maybe McMahon. Everyone's scared
maybe
of the
McMahon,
Rockies.
Willie Castro, Pirates.
Cabrian.
Pirates want you to take somebody.
Cabrian
IKF
Hayes is hitting so bad.
We've been dreaming on to the Rangers shuffle the deck with Young.
I have been dreaming that. I said that to someone. It's the Wake and Jake community. There's a Yankees guy that lives in my building. I think he does something with like the defensive analytics. I feel weird because I don't want to like him to think I'm actually prying for information. That's me. That's us living in the same area, and I'm like, hey. Mm-hmm. So me trying to prove I don't do that. I had my first slip up. I told him, I was like, it would be interesting, Josh Young. Just kind of leaned in. He's like, yeah, man, I don't know. Like, I don't think that's his area. Even
don't think he like gets a voice in that.
But. Nice guy, good guy. So yeah, for the Phillies, I don't have that on my radar. I think that like they've been rumored for outfielders for a year. If anything, I guess my head jumps to there. But the Philly team is the Philly team.
And not to keep us dwelling on the first one, but it's also like I think if they were to get one. It's not like Boehm's out for the year with his injury. Yeah. That would probably mean that he's on the table then if you're a team interested.
I agree with you, Matt Gilm. Let's see, Zach Meisel for your Guardians. Emmanuel Clase gets traded this winter. Clase, 3.5 years of control, under $30 million. That for a top closer is a good contract. I do think it's just interesting. Like if you go through teams that spend on bullpen, it's a lot of the big boys and not a lot of the little teams. That Clase starting to get paid actual money, like that's a starting position player money.
Yeah, like obviously like less than he would get on the open market, which maybe brings a couple teams back in, but it is a real number for a reliever.
Like some teams have to really think about that, where other teams don't. I don't know. I'm team he gets traded. Again, Cleveland gets to save money, and other teams gets to add a top reliever with years. Like, again, I'm sorry to reference my Yanks so much, but it's not the craziest thing. Devin Williams and Luke Weaver for the Yankees, their contracts are up next year. So you pay the price tag, you've got a closer for 3 years. I don't believe in that, but I think there's going to be a Class A demand. The supply and demand of it and the price tag, I think, will make sense for a team. And maybe it is this winter, and Zach's on that. I could very much see it happening. Padres prediction, Dennis Lin, a player off the MLB roster will be moved. Interesting. They're talking about how Preller has bought and sold in July before. I don't know. I think the Padres are good and they're in it. That I think they're gonna go. If they sell something of value, that like they need more depth. I don't think they can do that. So interested to see. And here we have the Mariners. Andy McCullough, Jerry DiPoto pulls off a reunion with Eugenio Suarez. Let's put that in a bucket. I don't know, man. So part of me loves a reunion. We did it on our trade episode. And I think there's something to that. Professionalism and heading out the right way and shaking hands on the way out. If you're the Mariners and you've got this weird hitting thing and Eugenio came there and he didn't play that well, like what the Mariners could be worried about with Eugenio Suarez providing, I think that limits their price tag. That I have the other teams that need a third baseman paying more for Eugenio. Like, you guys kind of already did this, and it didn't work. And you guys know that your baseball stadium's like messed up. So for me, that doesn't make sense. Obviously, Eugenio Suarez on any team makes sense because he just hit his 35th home run. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. Is that dumb?
I don't think it's crazy to say that they just like wouldn't do it. Suarez's value is just in a very interesting spot because you are a rental, but you're like so far and away the best player for this year.
Been like a top 5 hitter this year.
And not to jump us around too much, that I want you to be able to keep the order, make sure we hit everybody. But while we're here, the Reds prediction was also welcome back, old friend.
Also, but that one makes more sense. Although I don't think they're going to buy. But like, okay, yeah, if you just gave me Mariners or Reds to pay the prospect price tag for Eugenio Suarez for what they think he can provide them the rest of the way, I would go Reds. The Reds would be like, hey, he's balling out. He's balled out here. He's going to be great. The Mariners, there has to be a fear in the back of your head that he's not going to be good. I don't think the Reds can buy.
Oh, like for a rental, it's hard to see.
Let's see. Let's get the National League standings and let's get the wild card. Maybe I'm being too harsh on the Reds, who they do have a winning record, 52-48. Like, that's, in a way, I'm proud of them. They're 2.5 out of the wild card. Okay. I mean, they have an interesting couple weeks. If the Reds hit the gas and they have one of those days where they sneak into the wild card, I would argue against myself and say, like, how many times do the Reds have a shot at it? How many times have the Reds had good pitching? Like, it almost turns into the Pirates argument. But if you start getting the Reds in the playoffs, let's say the Cubs and Brewers are good, and it feels that way. Let's say the Dodgers are good. Let's say the Phillies are good. Sorry, Mets fans, but Phillies have a little bit more of a track record with this team. It would be more shocking if the Phillies missed the playoffs than the Mets. Mets, Padres, Reds, Giants. The Braves are dead, which is insane. I mean, right now, one of the Mets, Padres, or Brewers will miss the postseason. And that hasn't been discussed. Because you can't point at a team right now and be like, it's going to be them. But injuries, trade deadline are going to dictate it. Like, right, I barely mentioned the Giants there. They traded for Devers, Buster Posey. They've paid guys, Chapman, Lee, Robbie Ray. Like, for them to not make the postseason would be a very big disappointment for them. I don't know if the rest of us see it that way, but my God, is the NL going to be juicy down the stretch. All right, back into the Athletic article. Actually, let's get back into DraftKings. Our friends at the DraftKings Sportsbook. Baseball is here. I just told you, Detroit got a little action on it. I think it was plus 750. So even if they make the World Series, like even if they make the CS, there's some action there.
We'll probably be able to cash out nicely.
We'll check it out. At the DraftKings Sportsbook right now, new customers who bet $5 get $150 in bonus bets instantly. Whatever you're looking for, DraftKings has it. So download the app. Use code JMSports to make the crown yours. And, you can use your $150 in bonus bets on same-game parlays for bigger outputs. Hello. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. New customers, JM Sports, $5 on any wager, get $150 in bonus bets instantly. Only at the DraftKings Sportsbook. All right, I'll start chewing through a little bit. Oh, we're good. Cardinals hold on to Ryan Helsley. This is by some writer, Katie Wu.
Ever heard of her?
Nope. Unsubscribe. Katie's the best. You guys know by now. I have no clue. Again, their plan was to sell. And what Ryan Helsley would get, I know they've had a overachieving first half of sorts, but with they're 3.5 out of the wild card, L3 out of the break. Diamondbacks are a game back from them. I don't know. You've got two GMs. Literally, one of them is in his last year on the way out as Chaim Bloom rebuilds the minor leagues. Doesn't it seem like the opportunity is there? And like what you could get for Ryan Helsley?
Yeah, I know Katie says in her blurb, like the potential of like, give them the qualifying offer and hope they get the prospect. I don't think Helsley's a guy that turns down the qualifying offer this offseason just with what the output this year has been and what relievers typically get paid. Like,
I mean, $20 million to bet on yourself to be good for 1 year.
Yeah, to get back to normal results.
Like if when you become a reliever, your dream is to get $20 million to make $20 million.
Yeah,
and he would get that in 1 season.
So I think he would just take that if.
And if you're the Cardinals, you don't want that. Like I don't think you want to get in that business. I believe the Cardinals will sell. Maybe I'm wrong. Katie Wu. That's why it's bold. She says no. On Helsley, at least. Rockies, McCullough says Ryan McMahon will get traded. I really hope so. Just where his contract is at, the amount of teams that need third baseman, let him go. Get the thank you post ready. I will say those trade talks must be absurd because you can knock McMahon if you want offensively. The glove plays, I don't know. If he ended up being a Yankee, I'd be very happy. And I think that should tell you how you should feel for your team.
Mm.
We got a couple teams landing Ryan McMahon on this, right?
There's a few Ryan McMahon.
Maybe I'll organize it my own way. Control search McMahon. The Brewers. Okay. Like I didn't even really have them in the third base market.
Mm-hmm.
And that goes the same thing with the Reds and Aoenio. Like, what? So if we've got these teams in the third base market, it is juicy. Okay. So, yeah, Rockies, Brew Crew connection. We'll see if that pops up again. Marlins, McCullough again, just pulling his weight for all these kind of tougher teams. Says Sandy stays put. I get it. I'm really pushing my Toronto narrative because it really does make sense. Toronto struggling to sign free agents. They have a bunch of starting pitching contracts that are expiring this year. Bassett, Scherzer. Like, you could bring in Sandy. I know it's been weird this year, but you believe in the talent. And I guess depending the trade offers, because the Marlins will get very real trade offers that if you're the Marlins and you're looking at Sandy and you're looking at your next couple years, although they are playing a really fun brand of baseball, Kyle Stowers is a stud. Otto Lopez is really good at baseball. It's fun watching him play a little bit this weekend. So, hey, maybe they put that in their argument. And if they don't get the offers, they won't move him. There's no need. Like if Sandy comes out next April and he looks like one of the best pitchers in baseball, there you go. But I think teams will still pay because they believe in their pitching technology. And they'll say, oh, Sandy, come here, do this, this, and this, and you're going to be good. I still think Toronto, I understand if he doesn't get traded. Chad Jennings for your Rays. They'll play it safe. Okay. I don't know if that's a bold take, Chad. I respect it. I already told you I respect it. Yeah, I don't know. They kind of, like McClanahan comes back soon. They were originally Brandon Lau and Yandy were on a lot of people's wish lists, but Rays kind of good.
Yeah.
Rays are kind of good. I wonder if playing it safe is the bold prediction because we do expect the Rays to operate differently, but the Rays kind of just have a good roster.
Yeah, I think they just had like a bad stretch into the break. You would know better than I do, but I think people, because they're the Rays, expect them to react to that and pivot to moving off at least one of their guys, which they still could do one, and that wouldn't be not playing it safe. It's interesting.
Nothing the Rays do surprises us. I just think they're a solid baseball team, and they're going to run it.
A different Rays prediction in an Athletic article today, but Ken Rosenthal pondered on if they get this new owner, new stadium, all that. Like, are they a Kyle Tucker Tampa native?
Wow,
splash
signature
option.
player,
and that was a fun blurb.
Are they?
Just had read literally today.
This is just for us. Are they paying Wander?
That was part of that. Was they're probably going to be off the hook for the last 11 years,
right?
Because he's not allowed to enter the United States. It's like even if they wanted him to play, he probably legally would have issues getting here.
Yikes. Okay. Orioles, it looks like Chad Jennings picked that one up too. No team will trade more big leaguers. Listen to these names. Listen to these tracks. Cedric Mullins. Yep. Philly, Mets. Sure. Ryan O'Hearn. Almost every team can use Ryan O'Hearn. Zach Eflin. Almost every team can use Zach Eflin. Sir Anthony Dominguez. Gregory Soto. Yep. Ramon Laureano has been killing it. He was on our overlooked team we did a few weeks back. Andrew Kittredge. Charlie Morton. What? Ooh, Charlie Morton. Some team. How old is Charlie Morton? This is a fun one for me. Is he 42? Some team is probably going to see... he turns 42 in November. 41-year-old Charlie Morton could be joining your team. Kind of jazzes me up a little bit. Jazz, my guy.
Good number since May, Charlie Morton.
Trade him. Trade all of them. This wasn't your year. Not a lot of the names I mentioned impact your future at all. That go nuts, Orioles. You should. Okay, I like that. Good job, Chad Jennings. The Mets, Tim Britton, they'll add meaningfully and keep top prospects. I don't know. Isn't that like every team's deadline goal?
Yeah, I guess just that they won't trade one of their top guys.
They won't trade a top 10 guy in the organization? I don't know about that.
Yeah, that screams you're just adding a reliever. Which maybe is all they're going to do, but...
Yeah.
Or just rentals.
I don't know. First year of Soto?
Feels like a time to do an all-in move.
Okay, no top 10 prospect. I will say that's bold. Tim Britton. Let's look back. The Arizona Diamondbacks. Zach Meisel, backup. No team will be busier at the deadline. I'll read the names yet again. Josh Naylor, Zach Gallen, Eugenio Suarez, Merrill Kelly, Shelby Miller, Randall Grichuk. Please keep him in the NL. They could go double birds to everyone. I know that's kind of going against what I've been saying to other teams and supply and demand and what are they going to get offered. They just won 3. I shouldn't overreact to it. They just got to 500. What if they pull... Okay, they've got Houston and then Pittsburgh. So if they win the Houston series, could you be looking at an 8-2 out of the break? And then you got a couple more days? I don't know. I think they've really cut it too close. They can't slip up. And against Houston, they could slip up. Framber Valdez, Brandon Walter just pitches well, casually. I don't know. I think the D-backs for weeks, for months, as everyone's been trying to pillage the D-backs, I think they've got a shoulder up and they're like, no, this team's good. Screw everyone's deadline. That's not who we are. But they can't slip up. And even like Houston to Pittsburgh, they've got 2 series. And then the first Detroit game. I don't know. That's too close. That's too close for me. Don't be scared to sell. I think they think they're good, though. Yee! Get in the mix. Blue Jays, bold prediction from Mitch Bannon. There won't be a trade for a bat. Okay. I guess GM Russ Atkins said that a right-handed bat is one of Toronto's priorities. They note that Davis Schneider has been playing well in July. As Mitch says, going all in on pitching, like I've told you guys, they're my Sandy team. If not Sandy, that means they've got to get something else. I don't know. I kind of like their lineup. They're pesky. It feels like they've got different pieces that can hop in and do different things. But yeah, I don't really see it as a need. Maybe they're like, are they this year's Tommy Pham team? Why not? Why not?
Grichuk back.
Oh, God, that would stink for the Yankees. Pittsburgh. 2 of the franchise's 3 largest contracts will be moved. So, that is Brian Reynolds, Mitch Keller, and Ke'Bryan Hayes. Bob Nutting, the owner, is referenced. Man, I don't know. Brian Reynolds has been very disappointing this year. So you're trading a backloaded contract for a player whose value is at its lowest? That doesn't seem to be a great formula. I think people still believe in Brian Reynolds, but he has been bad this year. Ke'Bryan Hayes, kind of LOL same. I mean, his extension is friendlier than I think when the initial number dropped. You're like, oh, that's good money. And then you look at it and you're like, oh.
The years are tough, but on a per-year level, it's like not bad. He signed that so early.
Yeah. Ke'Bryan Hayes, I guess, again, as we've been scouting third baseman, we're too deep in it. $7 million for the next 2 years and then $8 million for the following 2 years. So you're signing up to have Ke'Bryan Hayes contract, at least, on your team for 4.5 years. And by the way, his OPS plus this year is 61. He's slugging .294. So, like, how are they going to trade those guys? Mitch Keller, yes. The Mitch Keller trade is going to happen. He fits every team. He fits every team. Arm talent, innings, the contract is locked in. So, again, Toronto popped up in my head because it's like, okay, we don't have to do free agency. We just have Mitch Keller for a few years. But literally every team could do that. That Mitch Keller definitely getting traded. If Reynolds or Ke'Bryan gets traded, I will be surprised. Reds, Eugenio, we did that. That would be Trent Trent Rosenhaus, excuse me. I don't know. Braves, blow it up? Nope, says Dave O'Brien. It kind of makes sense to me. Like the Braves still believe in themselves. I'd like to see them go. They've got bullpen arms. They've got Marcelo Zuna. Could they get funky? I wasn't mad at our social team. They clipped me in the trade draft saying I picked Chris Sale to be traded, which I don't believe in. It was just kind of
It was the funky last pick that we always got fun with.
It's the last pick in the fantasy draft where you take someone silly and you just cut them instantly. But yeah, Atlanta still feels confident in what they do. They just feel like this season got away from them. Brewers and McMahon, again, didn't really have them on my third base list. I like O'Hearn for them, someone like that. We will see. Jen McCaffrey for your Boston Red Sox. An outfielder will be moved for a controllable starter. This one is maybe the most interesting on this list. Because think about who we're talking about. When we say, oh, Boston's going to trade an outfielder. Okay. They're not trading Rafaela. He's extended. He's been playing out of his mind. They love him. He's not going anywhere. Wheeler Abreu just hit his 20th homer. Wheeler Abreu is really good. So is he on the table? Because that guy, without looking, I'm guessing his contract goes through 2031. Wheeler, let's see. Let's see if Jake's mental math was right. 2.7 B WAR, 2030. Dadgummit. He leads the AL in outfield assists. Like, this guy's kind of a five-tool player, and he might be on the table with 5 years of control. If not him, it's Jarren Duran, who has less years, but last year he had an 8-WAR season. So if Boston is really going to move one of these guys, I mean, maybe Yoshida's in play. I feel like he's not even one of the guys referenced. Although Boston fans will still tell you. He played his first game in the outfield yesterday. So maybe it is. Maybe he's the guy and it's less dramatic. And maybe, again, there was early Diamondback dreams. Yoshida for like Monty is what we used to dream about. I don't see that happening.
The one that America's GM dreamt on was because they like the defensive arrangement of he wrote it right to left, but left to right, Anthony Rafaela Abreu, that would make Duran kind of the odd one out, and he shouldn't be a DH with his skill set.
I mean, everyone
and age that it would be like. He cooked up a 3-team trade that was Padres get Duran,
right?
Marlins send Edward Cabrera to the Red Sox.
Okay,
and they could also get like both prospects from
both to the Marlins
thrown in. And I was like, that's not crazy.
That's why he's in the Hall of Fame, and we're just trying to punch our ticket. I mean, that should be a massive storyline with how good Duran was last year. If he gets traded, that would be a big one. I know the Padres fans at least really want him. A lot of teams would really want him. It's like a bona fide leadoff hitter. White Sox, happy trails, Luis Robert Jr. This is from Danny Joseph. I think so. I'm begging so. I would love to see this guy on a new team. 3 good games out of the break. Otherwise, he's been bad. Sam Blum. The Angels will be aggressive buyers. Now we're talking. The Halos right around 500. It's a team that hasn't had a lot of success. They're having some things happen. Taylor Ward and Joe Adele, both with 20-plus homers in mid to late July. It's impressive. They can't, right? But they could. That's why they're the Halos. It feels like they kind of live in their own world that, yeah, if the pass and trade notification dropped that the Halos added XYZ or one of the guys with years we just talked about, Mitch Keller, it wouldn't surprise anyone. I think they need to be so aggressive the other direction. I think they have a young core forming that if you could supplement it with the right deadline assets, prove me wrong, Angels. Aaron Gleeman, shout out Minnesota. They will trade their impending free agents. Willie Castro, Harrison Bader, Chris Paddock, Danny Colum. If your team gets Danny Kalum, you're going to like that a lot. Ty France, Christian Vasquez. Let's go Twins. Empty the cupboard. Harrison Bader has been playing really well this year. Chris Paddock revival. I could get into it. Maybe wouldn't hate him coming out of a bullpen. It's always felt like he's had bullpen energy a little bit. Have the stuff tick up. He wouldn't like that.
Probably doesn't love it, but his attitude would play there.
Feels like it would work. Dodgers. Fabian Ardaya. The biggest deadline acquisition will be a bat. Hello. He mentions how they went for Michael Conforto, and he has been bad, 620 OPS. I got looped in by one broadcast watching him early this season. They're like, he looks like Freddie. Hasn't the rest of the way. Dodgers, another team on the super interesting list. How are they going to navigate this? Because everyone thinks they're going to trade for pitching because they're just going through arms. And their pitching has been bad on the year. Did you know the Los Angeles Dodgers are first in runs scored? That's really good. That's part of the reason they're winning the West. Did you know the Dodgers are 20th in starting pitching ERA, 24th in bullpen ERA? They've been bottom 10 pitching, the Dodgers. Kind of nuts when you think about it. So, yeah, Fabian, hey, snaps to you. That's a little bold that they would, if they had a big bat, imagine if they traded for Eugenio or something like that, just to show everyone they can. I don't think they would. Are they probably in on like an O'Hearn? Why not? They're the Dodgers.
Just unfurl.
Oh.
There's McFly.
Happy vacation, Joes. The New York Yankees. Again, this is in random order. Comical. Brendan Cuddy, friend. Welcome to the Bronx, Merrill Kelly. Yankees need pitching. Yankees need 2 pitchers and a third baseman. I've never been that clear of a Yankees deadline at all. Merrill Kelly feels like a fit. Veteran presence, veteran team. He's saying that, as a rental, his price shouldn't be sky high. And yes, that's true. Every year we do this. It'll be very interesting to see where the supply and demand is and how much the snakes are in or out and what other teams are offering that I think you've got to give up a real prospect. But it just goes into the debate. What's a real prospect? Does any of it matter? Nobody knows. Yankees should be very active. 3 very defined needs. They have actual prospects. If they don't, tune in to Talkin Yanks, Wake and Jake, because it's going to be a very interesting scene. The Tigers, there will be moves, but not big names, says Cody Stavenhagen. Okay, get him on the line. Sick name. Tigers need some relief. There's a case for adding a starter, he says, but he doesn't think it's going to be a Sandy. Or remember, Aroldis Chapman used to be on the block. Could the Red Sox do that? With all the good vibes they have going, Chapman would get a haul. It would be very Tigers-like to add a couple under-the-radar relievers. Sure. Okay. They've got a good thing going there. I bet them to win the World Series last night. Royals, Seth Lugo gets traded. Now that's fun. Send him to the Mets. Let's go reunion season. Seth Lugo just looks out at the bullpen. Yeah, I used to be out there. Now it's my time. Second in the Cy Young last year. Has been good this year. The Royals have been bad. There's a player option for 2026. It's so easy to just say sell. But I don't know. With each sell, Salvi gets a year older. The Vinny Pasquantino timeline is going to sneak up on them. That when does he start looking like a trade asset, or maybe we don't want to lose him? It's very interesting, and Kansas City operates as their own thing. It feels like a sell year, but I don't know. They're still in the 8-2 bucket, and they're not. Like, they called up Jack Caglione this year. Mm-hmm. Like, they want. This is gonna sound dumb. They really want to win, which is part of what motivates you. So, but they're under 500. Like, at a certain point, you got to be real. And what a guy like Lugo could get. God, I know the Yankees would love to have him. Nats, from our guy Blum. Kyle Finnegan goes to a division rival. Sure. Mets or Phillies. That's fun. I like his twist on that. Kyle Finnegan, his free agency every year blows my mind. Him at the deadline every year blows my mind. Would like to see him on a different team, if I'm just being honest. Cubs, the offense will get an upgrade from Sahadev Sharma. And yeah, they left a little mystery in there. They were like, it's third base or the bench. So if you're adding a bench bat, I don't know. Don't want to be rude, but okay. Will the Cubs go nuclear at third base? Like, if they add Eugenio Suarez to that lineup, it starts looking like a World Series lineup. Like, it already kind of does. Like, the PCA breakout, the dog who's been around, Happer, Kyle Tucker, the gun for hire, like Dansby, the guy they signed to help turn things around. Seiya is just incredible. You add a Gino, hell, McMahon to that lineup. It starts looking like a team that is really geared up for October. I'm so interested because with this deadline, like, the Cubs need pitching too, that I wonder what teams are going to prioritize it. Do the Cubs say, hey, we've got enough arms, if we make our lineup Death Star, we're good to go? Are they going to have to invest in the pitching, and they say, hey, maybe Matt Shaw? Like, with the young guys, you could be getting a totally different product. Chandler Simpson for the Diamondbacks, his last 20 games, he's been amazing. So is that a young player breaking out? Is that just a good 3 weeks? If I'm the Cubs, I might be looking around like, hey, we're good. We have a good lineup, even if Matt Shaw is a young baseball player, that I would probably go pitching. Maybe they do both. Maybe they put all the chips in. They've still got some farm pieces. Chris Rose eyeing young Cubs outfielders to trade Emmanuel Clase. Giants, Grant Brisbee, like him. They had a lefty reliever and infielder. This is good. This is good Bay Area writing. The infielder, he's someone you've heard of, but never examined long enough to have an opinion on him. You're neither impressed nor repulsed by his baseball reference page. He is, to be clear, just a guy. Well done, Grant. Well done, Grant. That's why you're writing and I'm yakking. Athletics from Joseph. They will be extreme sellers. Yeah, we went through that a little bit accidentally early on. Give me Mason Miller on another team. Like, if you're the A's, have you not already seen his, I don't want to say his shine dim, but like Mason Miller last year was, whoa.
He's already down from the peak value that you had on him. So
relievers happens quick, man.
And they,
where's Ken Giles?
When we talked about them earlier, we listed a few guys that they could trade and you get something, Andujar, Urias, whoever, but like Miller's the one. I feel like the only one that you're like, we will get something really good, like a big package. I don't think they have like another big package return guy.
Right.
Like that would be easily the biggest trade they can make.
Ken Giles, age 23 and 24, 113 games, a 1.56 ERA in Philadelphia. Ken Giles, after that, still pretty good, 3.27 ERA. Some of the years look not as flashy, but okay, good for you, Ken Giles. I think he's retired. Did he pitch last year in the minor leagues? Oh, he is pitching in Mexico for Yucatan. He's 16 games, a 7.71 ERA. He pitched in AAA Gwinnett last year and got knocked around. Baseball's a dirty sport, man. This guy. Maybe he's having fun. Okay, who do we have left? Astros, welcome to H-Town. Merrill Kelly. Bum, bum, bum. Yanks and Astros. Back at it again. Feeling like 17, baby. Yeah, they, again, Houston's kind of been in their bag, pitching-wise. I can't believe I just spoke like that. I hate this office. There's too many youths. Colton Gordon and Brandon Walter currently in the rotation. Both those guys have been given really good efforts, but yeah, I would not be surprised if they add an arm. I still look at their lineup and I know they have injuries, but here's the bottom four in their lineup right now. Taylor Trammell. It's really cool with us at the Arizona Spring Training House 4 years ago, so that's nice. Mauricio Dubon, stud, versatile. We love him. Cooper Hummel, okay. Zach Short, stud, we love him. But I lean bat over arm for Houston. That's where I'm at. Texas, and this is our last team. Would you look at this? The front office admits this year is a wash. Jolly Olive just tried to flag me down. Get out of here, Jolly. And this is from our guy, Stavenhagen. Love him. Rangers pushed the chips in last year after a subpar first half, and they did not succeed. This year, they are in a very similar crux. That's Stavenhagen's word, not mine. We're going on 18 months with a poor offensive performance. Yo. I'm interested to see. You guys know I can't quit the Rangers. I think they really like their talent. I can't believe how good their pitching is. I do think in 5 articles we're going to get an article that's like it's hard to hit in Texas for whatever reason, and that's part of the reason their pitching is so good. We will see. I mean, their lineup also demolished their way to a World Series. Their pitching was good too. We know. I don't think the front office is going to admit defeat, which would make it a bold prediction, and that was the exercise from Mr. Stavenhagen. I don't know. I think Texas is going to stay in the fight. Let me know where I was wrong, where I was right. What am I missing in the trade tea leaves this year? You guys let me know. Mino, Gino, young Nino, faster than a Palomino. Comment anything below. You guys are the best. I love you. We'll see you Wednesday.